Hey guys, Harren here, bringing you guys another full commentary, this time for Road to Perfection on mobile. So yeah, I've noticed that I've been playing a lot of Road to Perfection on Flash, and I've also noticed that no matter what I do, whether it's full commentary or just a little bit of commentary, whether I put interesting music, whether I put a good thumbnail, it's getting less and less views on Flash. So I decided that I just need to change some things around on this channel, play some mobile. I'm probably gonna start doing some other stuff because, you know, if you notice that for a few months, like around 3 to 2 months ago, I wasn't doing just a lot of one series. Like now I'm doing a lot of Road to Perfection. But back then I was doing a lot of things like King of the Hill, I was doing rants, I was making tutorials, I was doing a lot of Who Is Right. I was doing a lot of that stuff, but now I've basically been sticking to one series, which really isn't good for my channel because it's making people just bored. So I am switching back to mobile for a little while, and then I'm probably going to be trying out some other games soon. Well, not trying out, I might be going back to Bloons TD Battles, something like that. I'll figure it out, don't worry about it. But anyway, I believe that's really all I have to say about my channel. So let's get back into the gameplay. So if you haven't noticed, the first game already finished really quickly, and it was on cards, I believe, and I forgot who my opponent was, but I believe I won with the Yellow Rush. It was either that or a regular Yellow Rush. But anyway, on this map, I have 2 farms, but I can't fit my third on the bottom right. So I kept trying to fit my farm down there, but I couldn't do it. So I have to stick with the 2 farms that I have. So since it's round 13, I really have to focus on defending any rushes my opponent can send against me, and right now my defense is pretty good against defending rushes. So I can't send a rush against my opponent because my opponent's defense is actually pretty good against region rainbow rushes or any other sort of rush. Now my opponent tries to send some camel region not yellows, zebras, but I defend those with ease. So I get up those 2 extra dart monkeys in case I need a super monkey fan club, and I immediately region rainbow rush my opponent, and he died, and that person disconnected, and this person is going to take a long time to choose his towers, and this person also disconnects. So now we're against Danielle Vela, who has a pretty good 5-1 win-loss ratio. About a 5-1 win-loss ratio, maybe a few wins or a few losses off that, but a 5-1 win-loss ratio, that's pretty good. So we're both going for basically the exact same strategies. Also, I am going to warn you that in this video, most of the games are basically me winning with the exact same rush, and you can probably guess what that rush is anyway. But there are a few games that are really close and exciting because either we go late game, one of us gets really close to dying, or both of us rush at the same time. And spoiler alert, I am going to tell you that this game and one of the last games are 2 of those intense games. Now there are a few more, but that's all I'm going to say right now because I don't want to spoil this video for you. So anyway, both of our defenses are almost identical. We have almost the exact same amount of farms and the exact same defense. So my opponent sends leads, I get up my Juggernaut in time, and my opponent has Boomerang. So if my opponent has Boomerang and my opponent also revealed the Tack Shooter, that means that my opponent does not have Bloon Shipper, and Bloon Shipper is basically vital to going past round 100 if we even get there. So both my opponent and I have a good defense to defending. Now if you don't notice, my opponent has a Juggernaut there in the top left hidden, so that's why my opponent does have a good defense and it's not just like a Boomerang or something. But anyway, right now both of us are just getting up income and also getting ready to defend any Moabs or region rainbow rushes set against us, because really just one BFB or one ZOMG, you know, it can hurt you. So I send a BFB right there, but my opponent easily defends that without even having to tell farm. I get up my tier 4 farm right there, and as soon as your opponent gets up a tier 4 farm, I recommend rushing, because not all out, but you know, a rather small rush like there. If my opponent sends a BFB, as soon as I get up my farm, I defend that with the super monkey fan club. Because if you send a good sized rush right when your opponent gets up that 4th tier farm, then what's going to happen is that you might force your opponent to sell that farm and lose basically all their income. So anyway, it's round 24 and we're starting to go into the late game zone, which is, you know, when you go late game. Anyway, I'm getting my Bloon Chippers, I'm getting my Dart Monkeys, getting Super Monkey Fan Clubs, I'm getting my late game defense up. My opponent is going for a Glaive Lord and a Super Monkey Fan Club as a late game defense. Now I feel like Glaive Lords are really good and Super Monkey Fan Clubs, but once you get past round 30, if you want to excel at defending rushes, Bloon Chippers will help you so much. Now I understand that it's possible to defend without Bloon Chippers, but Bloon Chippers just make the process so much easier. Because if you have 5 or more X4 Bloon Chippers, the ability on the right side, then you, as long as you time the abilities correctly, you can basically survive almost forever. So now we're getting pretty late game. It's round 32, and that's the deadly ceramic round. I use my Bloon Chipper ability to defend that. My opponent uses Glaive Lords to defend that. But now it's getting pretty far late game, and at this time, Glaive Lords and Super Monkey Fan Clubs, which my opponent has, they're gonna start having trouble defending against the Moabs. While me, with the Bloon Chippers, as long as you time the abilities correctly, they can be stalled. They can basically stall the Bloons forever. Now, if you notice, my income is actually pretty bad. I mean, only 3 4-2 farms at 1 3-0 farm. Now, normally a good income right now is about 6 4-2 farms, somewhere around there. So I'm doing really badly. But the good news is that my opponent is also doing pretty badly, and I'm actually ahead of my opponent. Now, my opponent is using Blade Maelstrom for some reason. Now, he might be leaking on his side or her side. I don't know, Danielle, probably her. But anyway, my opponent is leaking on her side, so she probably used the Blade Maelstrom for that. And as you notice, I'm starting to struggle because I can't time my Bloon Chipper abilities that well. So my opponent rushed me with some fast cooldown Moabs, and more fast cooldown Moabs. So I get scared, I sell a farm, I get up a Super Monkey Fan Club, I get a Bloon Chipper ability, and my opponent is still struggling against the natural BFBs. That's why the Bloon Chipper is so helpful. Now, it's helpful if you can micro correctly, but as you can see, I'm struggling a bit to micro because I haven't played mobile in such a long time. But anyway, I'm down to just a few farms, but my opponent is also down to a few farms. My opponent is spamming the Blade Maelstrom ability. I sent a ZOMG against my opponent, and boom, he died. He did not die to the ZOMG. I mean, I don't know. But Danielle lost to the natural Bloons. And I actually almost died right there. So that was a really close game. Anyway, now we are in cards, where I am facing an opponent who is using engineers. So engineers, they actually used to be a really popular way to defend. Oh, my opponent disconnected. And is he gonna reconnect? No. So I pick up a really quick win there. But anyway, as I was saying, engineers used to be a really good way to defend, and a really popular way, mostly popularized by Super John Bombo. But after that, it was mainly Dart Monkeys at farms, and basically it's stuck to that ever since. So anyway, we're facing Walter Lopez on Swamp. So Swamp is one of those maps where you can have a hard time defending Regen Rainbows, because although Bloon Chippers are pretty good at defending them, there's no straight lines to put Juggernauts on, and Juggernauts is basically what I use as my main hobby power. Now I understand that some people use Blade Maelstrom or Submarine or Boomerang to defend Regen Rainbows, but I basically use Juggernauts all the time, and this map there's no straight lines except at the very end, so it's pretty hard to defend here. So it's nearing round 13, and I accidentally sent Rigor Yellows instead of Regen Zebras, but I killed him anyway. So now we're 165-0, halfway through this video already, and I am against Uriel Innes. I can't read that the writing's too small on my screen. But anyway, I get up a farm, and I get up a Dart Monkey, and when I got up that Dart Monkey, I thought it was a pretty good spot. But now that I think about it, I mean, that was a horrible spot, because you can see how many Bloons I leaked. I ended up having to use Battle Energy. So, yeah, I did not like that spot at all. So my opponent is actually hurting my income by sending Bloon and Eco, because since my opponent is sending Bloons for their income instead of farms, that's forcing me to get up more defense to sacrifice my income. Because if I just go pure income and not go farms, I mean, if I just go pure income and no defense, I would probably die. So anyway, it's nearing round 13. Will either of us send a rush? I get up my defense ready, but my opponent doesn't seem to attack me, so I just attack my opponent, and that should kill my opponent. So 166-0, and we are against, oh my goodness, this is a 370 wins and 17 losses on Pumpkin Patch. So if you notice, I did spy there, and I spied there because I wanted to make sure that my opponent did not have Bloon Chipper. Because if my opponent had Bloon Chipper, then both of us would be stalling forever, and I did not want to play a game that lasted over an hour, because that's just boring. Because, you know, as I said, the Bloon Chipper ability, if you use it correctly, you can last to round 200, round 300 even, and I did not want to go that far. So luckily, my opponent chose the Apprentice instead, which I was very happy about, and right now, we're both playing really well. We're both getting up as much income as possible. I felt like I could have done a bit better, but you know, that's just how the game goes. So, we're going with a slightly different defensive here. He's just going basically pure 0-3 Dart Monkeys, and I have a mixture of 0-3 Dart Monkeys, 3-0 Dart Monkeys, and Bloon Chippers. So since it's nearing round 13, both of us are getting up our defenses. For some reason, my opponent's going Wizards to defend. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. But anyway, we'll either of us send a rush. I get on my 3rd tier farm, and my opponent sends a regen Zebra Rush, and I use my battle energy to defend that. To be honest, I don't think I had to do that. And I hit up a Super Monkey Fan Club to defend a secondary rush. Also, I did not think that I really had to do that. I get another Super Monkey Fan Club. So my opponent just keeps sending, and then I send another Zebra Rush against my opponent. It looked like he died, but he didn't. Oh my goodness, so many things happened right there. But as I was saying, I don't think that I needed all those Super Monkey Fan Clubs to defend. I felt like if I just got one more Bloon Chipper, one more Juggernaut, it would have been fine even without battle energy. So I felt like I really overreacted there. So I set a BFE right there, and he sets a ton of fast cooldown mobs at me, and I use my Super Monkey Fan Club, and I easily defend that, and my opponent dies right there. Oh my goodness. That was a really, really intense game right there. And I felt like it was so intense that I just talked way too fast. So sorry if you couldn't even understand what I was saying, because that was just really intense. So now we're on Swamp, and my opponent finally gets up my tower. And not my tower, my opponent finally gets a tower. I can't even talk right now. But yeah, and as you can see, my first Dart Monkey placement, I felt like it wasn't good enough because it couldn't attack the Bloons right when they came out. So I sold my first Dart Monkey and got a second Dart Monkey in a better spot. So, you know, sometimes you do have to make sacrifices in this game. And I'm just getting up a lot of farm income. And I'm just getting ready in case I have to defend any round 8 rushes. I don't, but my opponent does have to. I set a ton of Regal Rights right there, but he got up a Fire Mage and defended that easily. So once again, nearing round 13, and you can probably guess what happens. I sent a Regan Zebra Rush, but even though it looks like a lot of Bloons went through, my opponent actually didn't leak any lives. So I was just thinking, okay, you know, I'm just gonna get him more income and send a bigger rush late game. So that's exactly what I do. I'm getting at more farms. I get up my 3rd tier farm. My opponent isn't sending anything. We're at round 18 now. My opponent still doesn't even send a Moab against me. So I'm just relaxing right here. And I plan to send a BFB on round 20. But I was just thinking, you know, he has a Bloon Jitsu, so maybe he would defend that. He sent a single Moab against me, and that was really smart of him. Because I underestimated that rush so much that I got scared. I immediately got scared, and then suddenly I just had to get up that Super Monkey Fan Club. So I sent 2 BFBs against my opponent. There is no way he's going to defend that. He will not send a rush against me, and that will kill him right away. So 168-0, and we are on indoor pools against an opponent who has over 7-to-1 win-loss ratio. So this is going to be exciting. Now indoor pools, I got a ninja. I'm not sure if I should have gotten a ninja, because there's better towers like sniper, because you can defend leads on round 10. Maybe a tack shooter, so you can easily play Maelstrom any round 13 rushes. But I just got a ninja in case I need to sabotage supply lines. So anyway, what's going on is my opponent is going for a wizard and spike factor strategy. I'm not sure how he got an almost 8-to-1 win-loss ratio with that kind of strategy. I tried to send some yellows hoping to make him use his battle energy, but he actually defended that really, really fine. So what I'm doing right now is just getting up my defense. And I stopped getting up income because I want to send my attack right away on round 13, and he dies first because I was just scared that he will attack me. And we are finally 169 on our last game, and as you can see, the video is almost over. But yeah, it's on A game once again, and this time I put my Dart Monkey in a somewhat better spot. I feel like I could have done better, I probably should have put it closer to the natural track because right now it's still struggling. I got up a Bloons Trooper to defend the pinks my opponent set, but as soon as my opponent stopped selling it, I sold my Bloons Trooper to upgrade my farm. And I was being a bit greedy there, and I felt like it was okay because my opponent really wasn't that good. But anyway, it's round 8, and once again it's almost round 13, and you can probably guess what's going to happen at the end of this game. So I'm going to read your Rainbow Russian and win. It's pretty obvious. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And that's basically all for now. So once again, leave a like if you enjoyed, and have an awesome day. Yeah.